There are a few things that happens that sometimes make you stop and ask yourself, why? Well, this story is one of them. Look, you've read the thumbnail. It's pretty self-explanatory. Let's dive into the story right away. But first, before we start, consider dropping me a like. It helps with the algorithm. And if you want to do more, you have options in the description below. And if you are new here, I'm Alistair Hanzekyo, and this is just my point of view. Let's get started. Stories like this is becoming more and more frequent, which is sad. But let me just read you what the news article says. So a mother fatally shot her husband and 2 children at their Union home. I know where Union is. Before turning the gun on herself. And that happened this week. Around 10:30 a.m. Wednesday, members of Union County Sheriff's Department arrived at the house on Linecrest Terrace and found the bodies of Ruben Alarcon, 51, Andrea Alarcon, 42, and their 2 daughters, who were identified. So the murder weapon was located near Andrea's body when the authorities arrived, but no other information was released that night. And so this is a statement. Now, here's the thing with statements, and this is a strategy I've used when I deal with people in corporate environment, when I deal with anybody really, is that, whatever is expected for you to say, you could just ignore it because it's expected. There's nothing of substance there. What's very most important is what is said from something that is unexpected, or from what is unexpectedly said from someone that you expected something else. Now that is more significant. And so when I hear a statement like I'm about to read you, it doesn't really ring much to my ears because that's what is expected. So, from the authorities, quote, "In tragedies of this magnitude, there are no words that can heal nor explanations that can serve to make sense of them to the public." Totally understood, right? Understandable. And that's from the Union County prosecutor. He continues, "Our thoughts go out to the family and friends, of course, of these victims and to the Union community as a whole in the wake of this horrible event." Of course. So this is a statement that's absolutely expected from someone of that authoritarian stature. So, not much to think about. And I'll tell you why. Hold on one second. Because when we go deeper, it continues. This is deeply tragic event that has shaken our community to its core. Not just yours. Literally the whole Jersey is a little bit blinking a little too hard. What's going on over here in our state? And continues, "Our hearts go out to the families and loved ones of the victims. We understand that this may be a difficult time for many people, and we encourage anyone who is struggling to reach out for help. Resources are available, and you don't have to go through this alone." Okay. So let me just dissect. This is where I disagree, but this is also where, from my professional brain, and you guys know, I make a living out of guessing people's intentions. That is a red flag to me. I'll tell you why. Because help is not readily available. That is a farce. That's not true. That's not true. Really? If you can't pay your mortgage, where do you go? Do you know somewhere to go? Where do you go? Oh, interesting. Let's just say, let's just say, they were asked to vacate or whatever. Where did they go? Homeless shelters? Do we have a good system that in place? It's not as easy as you might think. It's not as 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, go. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that. And so this part of the statement tells me that, it was just parler. There was no essence of thoughts, an essence of a formulated sentence with the purpose of trying to impact other people who might be going through this to look for a solution. Because let's just say if I'm going through the same situation, this doesn't give me anything, right? Let's just say if I was, going through the same situation where I'm thinking about doing the same thing to my family and I read this story, this wouldn't have determined to do anything. And that's the purpose of a statement like this. Well, the purpose of a statement like this is to tell the public, hey, you don't have to do this, really. In addition to say, we're sorry this happened, but you don't have to do this. You have options. That's the purpose of those PSAs. A PSA is not just say good morning, everybody, and that's eyes. No, a PSA is a public service announcement. Nothing in there serves the public. Yeah, he failed on this one. Just a wait. Completely unplanned. My lips are really chapped. It's not that it's really cold in here. It's how do you call it? The thing is melting, but honey, it's chapped, whatever. It's very hard to hide really your intentions. If you're not really into it, you're not really into it. It's really hard to hide that. And so I would have called him out on it if it was in a perfect setting. So it doesn't minimize the fact that a tragedy happens, but it makes me look at the department a little bit sideways. Like, you guys sit down, had a meeting, and this is the best you come up with. At least put a number up there. Like, here's the hotline for shelter service. Put something. It's a PSA, So to continue, because this is very tragic, let's go into more of the details of this. It's insane. So listen, so the authorities made an investigation, and it turned out that the reason why she did this is because she was going to be foreclosed on. The property on Lincrest Terrace, blah, 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 sold an auction for $332,000. Now, look, that's cheap. That's a bargain. That's an absolute bargain, because I can tell you this right now. Houses like this in Jersey, they do happen, but it's a good $100,000 above. Yeah, at least on average. So the auction got a bargain, and that adds more salt to the wound to the family, who probably maybe spent their whole life saving on this, or maybe they had a good interest rate, and now not only are they losing on the low interest rate, but they're losing because they probably entered into the home at a higher price, but then they're losing. No, they see no profit of that because all that will go to the bank, and then their credit will be ruined and they'll foreclose. Like it's a deep moment of despair, right? Yeah. Now here's the thing. And here's the thing I have with what's going on in today's times. Life is hard. I don't have to tell you this. You know that. You know life is tough. But to be in a space of complete despair where you decide to take the life of your own two kids, nobody can explain that, because I've never been in that dark of a place. I've been in a dark place where I would take maybe my own life when I was in college. I told you that story. I'll repeat the story really quickly. I was going through my moments because I had a horrible father for a father, complete despicable human being who's still alive. Damn it. And he's healthy too. God damn it. I saw recent videos of him. He's super healthy and he moves and nothing hurts. I think he's gonna live like to 100. God damn it. Anyway, he's alive. And so my dad is a piece of shit. So, trauma with trauma. And I was like, I'm done with this life. I was hanging from the window at college, and then look, do you know what stopped me? I looked down and I was like, oh, that's gonna hurt. I'm not even kidding. And good thing I work out, because I muscle myself up off the window, and then I call my mom, like, oh crap. I mean, I was crying. I didn't tell her the whole story, but yeah, the thing that stopped me, I was like, oh, that's gonna hurt. I'm such an idiot. But I was going through a real moment, and to be to a point of despair where you don't even see a way out for your daughters, not even adoption. Like I can't even explain to you what kind of despair that must have been. Because there's depression and there's stress from depression, and there's you can't sleep, but to the point where you're gonna take your kids, maybe the husband, sure, Sure, he's a grown-up, maybe he's annoying, get off me. Sure, but the kids? And like the title of my intro was, why? I have no idea. That's going to be very difficult to even put yourself in someone's shoes like that. If anybody ever felt that kind of despair, please share with us how that feels like, where you're willing to take your loved one's life with you. Selfish. I'm sorry. Don't throw tomatoes. You know I'll dodge them all, darlings. But I'm sorry. Like it's educate me, because I don't know how to not call it that, right? And these were young girls. I didn't want to take too much about the girls. They were young girls, bright at school, by the way. Oof. Full foreclosure. Okay, look. Let's go to the next segment. We're going to dive a little deeper as to what could be some of the triggers. Yeah. Kindergarten teachers are speaking out. And this is where I'm like, I don't understand. But listen, quote, I was Emma's first teacher. Yeah. I cannot tell you what happened. Yeah, it's very confusing for all of us. But of course, the family, according to the teacher, was very caring, loving, nurturing, and generous. God darn it. God darn it. Oh. She continues, the girl was such a leader. It was like having a second teacher in the room. Oh my God. She was smart and engaged. Really? She was on top of the class. She was amazing. Her lunches were beautifully prepared. Her mom, the killer, will use heart shapes to cut sandwiches. Oh wow, that's a lot of work. And the mom will leave notes for her daughter. Now look, hear me out. I've never been to a foreclosure. I don't know what it feels like or what it might feel like. But I can tell you this. Back in my life, I've been in a financial situation where I was literally $1 away from being homeless. $600 away from being homeless. Yeah. Where I had no money for food, and I literally went hungry for like 60 days. Then I was getting my stuff together, but for 60 days I didn't eat, and it was a low level, a point of despair. And so I understand what it might be like to be in a financial situation where you're like, oh my God, what the hell is going to happen tomorrow? I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Am I going to be homeless? Right? So I understand that feeling. Now, mind you, this is when I was, 18, 19? I don't really know. I was young. Girl. So I don't know what that feeling must have been like when you have not one, but two kids into the picture. And it's a foreclosure. We don't know the financial situation of the father, nor hers, right? When I did my research, a lot of people were blaming the economy. Now look, the US economy is the best economy in the entire world. Let me explain to you a little bit what I'm trying to say about that. It may not be perfect. We just came back from a pandemic and a madman. Yeah, him. If you want to be anywhere in this world, United States is the place. Let me explain to you. Look, I'm a French-born. My situation is complicated. But listen, you don't want to be in the EU. You don't want to be in Canada. You don't want to be in Australia. You certainly don't want to be in Russia, nor in Asia. Listen to me very closely. Of all the places in the world, America is the best economy you want to be in. So sitting here and saying our economy is not great, this is the best you got. Okay? Right? Because we not only did an amazing soft landing, if people who know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean. We landed very softly. And the whole inflation situation, listen to me. I'm trying to be considerately nice. Just read. Look up more. Research more, because if you take it from me, it's useless, because you're not learning, right? But all I gotta tell you is that US economy is good. Simple as that. It's the best you're gonna get. It's the best you're going to get, considering what we've been through, not only as a nation, but as a world. And it's not as bad as you might think, right? It's not pre-COVID, of course not, but it's the best you got. So, pretending that it's going to be anything different, we're delusioning ourselves. I'm telling you, it's the best we got. You don't want to be nowhere else but here. So yeah, maybe they lost their job. I can't even justify that, but sure, maybe they lost their job and she's completely full of despair. The other aspect of it is, where's the support system? Mom, dad, brother, sister, uncle. So no support system on both sides of the family? No one you could have taken refuge in? No one you could be like, okay, I'm losing my house. My daughter's goes to school. Can I please crash over your house? Friends? And that leads me to the second potential part of the problem. We are getting so lonely as a nation. And I've noticed that, look, I'm a hermit. I love to be by myself. I'm my own best friend. But I've noticed from the peers around me, from my staff, from my nieces and nephews, there is a very huge difference in friendship from when I was a kid. And I'm only 38 years old. Not that long ago, when I was a little teenager running around and with friends, it is completely different now. Now, granted, maybe I'm a gay man, sure. So maybe our friendship a little bit different. But where are the friends? There's a loneliness situation that I've noticed, that people don't want to share the burden, share the trauma, share the problems with friends. I understand, because, maybe you don't want to overburden XYZ, but share with a little bit, like, get a second opinion, open yourself up, make yourself vulnerable to not strangers, to people, right? I think being able to express and vent out, other than your spouse, because, they hear all of it, can really make it therapeutic. Because the fact that she didn't think that she could reach out to anybody around her circle, that anybody around her circle could not find a solution, that means she was disconnected. She was disconnected. And there's this weird thing about keeping up with appearances, which leads me to the third point. Keeping up with appearances. Look, from the teacher, first grade teacher, the family was so great, nice, and generous. Loving, caring, nurturing, and generous. I don't know. To be in such a dark place like that, you must be thumping your fist down the hallway behind closed doors. Right? Like it's this thing where people like to play pretend. There's a pretend thing. There's like a pretend, like, I'm happy, I'm nice, I'm good, lucky, and great. Hi, how are you? Do you want some apple pie? Yes. What is that? What is that? If you're not happy, you're not happy. And this is what I've said to you many, many times. You need to be very selfish in order to be able to be an anchor for other people. And I think there's this pressure to pretend that you're all great and happy all the time. No, you have to work at that. Happiness is something you have to work on. You have to work on being happy. It doesn't just show up like that, And this pressure of being perfect and great. Look at my birthday. F that. F that. Pressure for what? Do you know what's at stake? Look what's at stake. The mental health of my kid. No. Papa is going to be the best version as he can be. If that means you have to go over there in the curb, a friend or stranger, then you go to the curb. Priorities, but pressures of society. What a tragedy. Okay, I have one more. And this thing, I kid you not, only when I became a father that I started to realize that it's a real issue. Childcare in this country is a big MFing issue. childcare in this country is a big MFing issue. Listen, if you don't have kids, you don't know, because I didn't know. Once you have kids, oh honey, you better have your pocketbook ready, okay? Because if you don't make that dollar, I don't know what I don't know what you plan to do, because you better stay at home. You better stay at home. And the crazy thing about it is that it would benefit a society if it was subsidized up to a certain point. I mean, the other parent can go back to work and pay back into the taxes. I mean, look, people are smarter than me that can come up with that. Please, if they're not sure, hire me for half the price. I get it done. You know, the economics is so easy, and it's been proven. But listen, she has 2 daughters. Honey, I have 1. I can't barely breathe. You know, I'm loving to death, but oh my God, so much work. Just 2. What? I mean, they're lovely girls, but you know, lovely. I'm sure with requirements, right? And then you combine all that together with the pressure of the bank. Hey, you didn't pay your bills this month. And you know what? And they have the audacity to put the eviction moratorium, okay? And people who could just live rent-free, but you have the banks who are, oh, God forbid, you don't pay your mortgage for 3 months. The bank doesn't give a crap, right? Why don't put eviction moratorium on that, government? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's what I'm trying to say. Most people fight the wrong fight. This society is all designed and built to push you down. You have to be smarter and figure out how you can navigate your way out of this mess and be above. Above what? Above the standard that was put in place to keep the masses down. I don't want to go too much into details, but it's there. It's there. That was a terrible tongue pop. Oh, what's going on? Okay, wait. There you go. It's there. There. This story was very sad. Short video today. Yeah, I'm trying something new. I can't talk about murderers all the time. I told you, man, it gets really depressing. Like I told you, look, this is not even my let's talk. Really quickly, it gets very depressing when you have murderers after murderers after murderers all the time. After a while, like I'm not interested. I want to break from murderers and killers and grapeist. You know, I want to break from that. Do you know what it's like to study and research murderers? Nothing but gore. And I told you, anything that affects the potential of my daughter, you know you're going to lose. Because I would never pick that option. Anyway, let's go to my let's talk. Okay? Welcome to my let's talk. If you're there, that means you like me. Perfect. You got this far. Very good. I'm very appreciative. Like, subscribe. Yeah. Let me tell you something. The whole selfish thing. I'll tell you who told me that. I'll tell you who taught me that. My mom. Oh, yeah. My mom. And it's because of her selfishness that she was able to put a situation to the side and it allowed her to fight my dad. Yeah, I've learned so much from my mom. I did. I have my father's temper, though. But I have my mother's wisdom to control her. Yeah, she's the one. She said that. She's like, if you're depressed all the time, Alistair, how do you think your kid is going to see that? If you work yourself so hard and you're always grumpy and angry, like, how do you think your daughter's going to see that? Please. I mean, at the time, I didn't have a daughter, but, you know, at the time, I was a teenager when she was giving me life lessons. She's like, no, if you're not okay, the whole world can burn. I took that from her. Scorched earth. She's like, yeah, if you're not okay, everything else can burn. Be okay first. And then you can help people. Stand on your own 2 feet first. And then you can think about helping people. Yeah. Yeah. And then when I became older with better questions, and when she introduced me to the world of business, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Yeah. My mom was an entrepreneur. Okay. So when she introduced me to that world, you know, she, a few tasks here and there, and look at me picking my words carefully. uh, and, you know, I had to learn. I learned the hard way. Yeah, I had to learn. I had to learn that you need to secure yourself first before you try to even go on the project. No, something has to fund this project. Where you get the money from? Oh, really? But that's not secure because this needs to, not only this needs to be break even, this needs to be, have a profit. You got to pay Uncle Sam. You got to put something aside for your future, and then the rest you can go ahead and start this other thing. Don't think about getting a loan from the bank. No. No, mom was like, no, because you know what that does? It ties you up. It's a huge liability. If you can't pay for it, honey, you're in trouble. No, if you want to go and borrow money, you borrow money from yourself. You know how to do that? Well, you set up the LLC and I'm going to borrow this, accountant and lawyers. You borrow money from yourself. So you have the luxury to pay yourself back to the legal channels without the pressure of an institutions. Yeah. My mom was a smart one in my parents' relationship. They both had similar income. My mom is the one who had her side hustle behind the scenes. And to make it even stick it to my father, it was all under her kid's name. Because during the divorce, he was like, well, how about this? How about that? And, they went through it and I was like, no, that's not hers. That's how she got him. She was operating her businesses under our name. She didn't tell us. She didn't tell us. And, at the time with her social security, she has her social security numbers. Please, it's complete fraud. Sure, why not? It's only fraud if you say it's fraud. Sure, I give my mom permission. Take that. But no, she established stuff. She has five children. Yeah, my father couldn't touch any of it. And this is why she won very big in the divorce, because my mom got everything of his. Okay? Split in the middle. And he got nothing. Nothing. All he got is her pension divided by 2, but they make the same amount of money. So you take that divided by 2, it's the same money. Yeah, it's the same. Look, you have no idea how she checkmate his stupid ass, crater face buffoon. Crater face. Yeah, my father had meningitis when he was younger. Lucky he survived. Yeah, there was no treatment. He had a stupid, crazy immune system that allowed him to survive meningitis back in the day. He survived everything. He survived COVID. He's surviving old age. He looks so healthy with his crater face. Hey, look, if you get turned off by me insulting my dad, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. And there's more news about him, by the way, but it's okay. More news. There is more news. I tell you quickly more news. This is what he did. He he got remarried. What? And this stupid ass goes to the United Nations. Look, I got a new wife. So he got remarried thinking by getting a new marriage would alter the terms of the divorce let's call it alimony, right? Let's call it that, because the UN operates differently than us mortals. So he goes over there to the UN, and the UN, and the lady clerk is like, "Oh, hello, Mr. Ezekiel. Okay, sure, yeah, okay, sure. And wife, okay, no problem. She's just a clerk. She doesn't know the history. She goes over there, she puts out the information. She goes, okay. I added your new wife in. So he goes to her, okay, so you're going to cancel my alimony situation? She's like, what alimony situation? He's like, look. She goes, okay. So she goes, oh, well, no, I do see it here, but I guess that's your ex-wife. And the judgment was plastered online so she could read it. Yeah, but, you can't change that. So this idiot added his new wife, legally married, new wife. He married her like that. But the new wife is only going to get 10% of his share of the divided portion only when he dies. Stupid girl. But it's okay. It's not her fault. He probably told her sweet nothings. I've seen her, by the way. Mm-hmm. Sweet nothings. Beautiful woman. Pretty girl. I'm like, what are you doing? She looks like she's in the 30s. What are you doing with an old man that's 70 years old? What's wrong with you? But look, I'm not, okay, fine, she's in love. She's in love. Sure. Asking questions. Sure. Poor girl. Don't get pregnant. Because my father's old. So most likely his sperm is old. and he's probably going to give you autistic kids. Before you throw tomatoes at me, it's been proven old sperm more likely for you to get kids with problems. So now she's probably going to get pregnant if he can get it up. I'm hating on my dad right now. I am. Oh well. The audacity. Audacity. And how do we know about that? Because he tried to make a big deal about it. He tried to even bring my mom to court about it. And the judge was like, no, that's frivolous. Enough of that stuff. Make us spend money on more lawyers. No, I don't think so, sir. Idiot. Idiot. And then more. So he has his lawyer write us, the kids, a letter saying that he removed our name out of our his share of when he removed our names from the his beneficiaries of his side of our assets. This idiot again. Look, let me explain something to you. And he put like my niece and nephews and all those idiots and my aunts, his sisters, who think they're going to stand in court. But you know what? I'm too scared to die because if I go to Africa, I'll probably be murdered because they don't like gays there. But listen to me. So he goes in there and a lawyer sends us a nice little letter saying what he excluded from. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I live my life not hoping or thinking my parents would die and I get their money. You know, I went through my life as a respectful citizen most of the time when I became a grown up. You know, I'm trying to make a life for myself, right? Without thinking my mom and dad would die one day. And I wasn't thinking like that. So, okay, great. You took me off your will. Big deal. But listen, there's a law in Cameroon because that's where most of his assets are because everything else in France and whatnot has been sold off. All the assets in France and Canada has been sold off by my mom. I'm telling you, she's a smart woman and she got him. So the only thing left is a stupid shit over there in Cameroon. And you know what? There's a law there that says you cannot remove heirs. You can only add, but you can't remove. So my aunts... Oh, by the way, you can only add heirs adopted. So unless he adopted this grown-ass niece and nephews, which he can't. He can't. My cousins are grown people. They're like 30-something, 39, 38. They're grown people. What, you going to adopt them? Anyway, so I'm pretty sure he didn't do that because he's an idiot. So then what's going to happen is that, come on, think. I'm not going to do it. Because as soon as I step foot over there, they're going to murder me. They don't like gay people over there in Cameroon. You know, it's illegal. It's by law. It's punishable by death. I'm not even kidding. I'm not going. But if I really wanted to, I could go there and claim all of that under the simple fact that I am his son. And the law says, thank you. Yeah. But I'm not going to do that. It's shit anyway. It's trash. I don't want anything from someone like him. Why? It's garbage. I don't want anything from a piece of shit like him. It's garbage. He can keep it. Give it to my niece and nephews. They need it. They can take it. I'm angry today. I'll tell you what I'm angry today. I'm upset today. I can't tell you why. Sorry. I'm going to keep that one to myself. You know, last week, because of the weather, there was no daycare. There was no daycare for the entire freaking week. I love my kid, I swear. But oh my God, it's so much work. I'll stop complaining, Alistair. No, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. Like, it's a whole different, like, daycare. Like, it's almost like we forgot what it's like to have a kid thanks to daycare. Because we only have her on normal days, Saturday and Sunday, we have her. Oh, you know what happened here? Oh, listen, can you see this? Oh, you cannot. Oh, I gotta show you this. Do you see that? Okay. Do you know what that is? Oh, bitch. Listen to me. So you think I got a cat? No. This is from dry skin. You know, black people get ashy. And I've noticed that African people get extra ashy. And so I lotion myself every day for the past 38 years. But during that cold weather, I was being lazy. I took a shower and I didn't lotion because I was so tired. I took a shower and I went straight to bed. And I woke up in the morning and I had like, ow, that hurts. This is my skin that cracks open. When it gets really dry and I go like that, it cracks. So it happens in like where the joints are. It happens like on the elbow area, the knee area, shoulder area, wherever like all the movable joints are, if it's really dry. Yeah, isn't that crazy? No, I don't have a cat. It's just very ashy. Or maybe it's just me. But I've noticed that with my other African friends, um, when we get ashy, we ignore it. It hurts literally. What was I talking about? Anyway, so another story was going on here in Jersey with us in the area. Listen, I know I didn't tell you this. Oh God, this is the second story that happened in less than a year. The other one happened close to where I live. And it was the same scenario. Father came back home from work, killed his wife and two daughters. And he didn't use a gun, honey. What? What do you mean you kill your kids like this? Like, what? Look at them in the eye. I can't even breathe, honey. And how did he kill himself? A knife. I can't even breathe. I like, what? What? And the kids came back home from school. It was 3 p.m. By 4 p.m., they were all gone. Because it was the next day, next morning, when they didn't show up to school, they were like, oh, that's weird. And, they do a safety check. And that's when they all found them asphyxiated. Because, when you do that, you have to pass out first. And then you have to keep holding for 3 minutes. Now, you have 2 kids. So, okay, do you tell one kid to take a shower while you murder the other one for like 10 minutes? And then, okay, come to the room. Come see your brother. He's sleeping. It's nuts to me. Completely nuts. And I'm like, are people, like, are the times so bad that this is your solution? Anyway. Yeah, that shook our community. And, I live in a community where no crime happens, darling. So people are like, what's going on? Because everybody's trying to pretend like there's something when they really are just normal. People like to pretend like everything's good. Where I live. Yeah, where I live. Where I live in Princeton. People like to play this game. I got money. I'm rich. Look at the Tesla I drive. Electric. Yeah, you have no idea. And it's like, nobody cares. It's your freaking car. Who cares? Who pays attention to your car when you're driving? I'm looking at the road. I don't care what car you're driving. Really? And who pay attention to a car on the road, parked? I'm looking for my car. I don't care. I'm not looking for your car. Stupid. Completely stupid. Well, you gotta live below your means, family. You gotta live below your means. Live below your means. If you can't afford it, you just can't afford it. Period. That's it. And nobody cares enough to even why do you care? I can't afford to go. All right. That's it. That's it. Nobody's gonna be like, oh my God, he can't afford it. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Do you do that? So then why would you expect somebody else to do that? I don't understand why people are like that. What is this? What's going on? Okay, sure. What else is going on? Oh, and then there's been a string of home invasions. Listen, this is the part where I was like, okay, look, this is where the police in where I live really got involved, because if you look at the map, they started in North Brunswick, and they were going all the way down to where we are. And they were, how people park their car in the driveway and you don't think nothing of it? They were breaking into cars, stealing, robbing the entire car. And then it was escalating. And then the criminals we didn't get caught. Nothing happened. And so then what happened was that it's not porn, I swear. So, and then as they were showing us the map of where the incidents were happening, and they were trying to tell people ahead of time, like, keep your eyes on your cameras and let us know ahead of time so we can catch those people. And then it was escalating to home invasion, and then escalated to armed home invasion, honey. Yeah, like this story, which is not far from where I live, also like maybe an hour away, and it's not that far from where I live. The story of I just did today, though, everybody in Jersey right now is on edge. Like, what's going on? What's happening? What? Who has time to do this? Yeah, thank you. Who has time to do this? But they haven't caught the people. But home invasion, no killings yet. No killings yet. I had to record. I had to tell Christopher to record tomorrow. I had to record with Christopher, He's going on a business trip on Thursday, and he's going to Colorado. And I'm only saying that because really, how convenient. I spend a whole week with the baby, and then I had to spend Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday as a single parent. It's okay. I've done it before. Why not? All right. So, yeah, he's going to Colorado for work, but Olympia's godfather, so Christopher's best friend, lives in Colorado, and they're gonna ski while they're there because why not? It's right there. So he's gonna go ski while he goes to the business meeting, having a good old me time, and then he's gonna go. But I've planned because it's not fair. So I've planned with my very good friend Katrina. Her name is Katrina. I think I've told you before who she is, right? I spent during the summer. Her house is like a resort, darling, and I just go there and just sit down, relax, drink some martinis, and take a nap. Go in the pool, take a nap. It's like Whistleco Garden. Her husband is so hetero. Her husband like builds stuff in the back, cuts the wood, like he does manly stuff. He builds a new building, and we're just sitting there cackling like hyenas while the husband is just building something. He's always building something. I'm like, what are you doing this time? Oh, I'm just building what was it? So he was just redoing his the container for the anyway, he built his own pool bar. What? Listen, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm just making the pool bar. Okay. Ruler, the whole shabazz. They have a very smart son. So smart. So smart. So I'm like, wow, you're really smart. He's only 21 years old. Very, very smart. Anyway, so we're going to a flower show in Philly. So that's going to be our getaway. I'm like, Christopher, you take care of the baby. You be a single parent. So we're going to go for a flower show for the weekend. And it's like, I love gardening. I told you I love gardening. And so she loves gardening too. And we're going to spend the whole weekend with plants. We're going to spend the whole weekend with trees and flowers. It's so great. It's a flower show. It's a flower show. And it's a whole weekend, darling. We're going to sleep over there at the hotel. Wake up and go to the flower show. It's going to be so great. Such a cornball, aren't we? I like that stuff. This is why, like, if Christopher ever leaves me, I don't know if I'm even dateable at this point. Because listen, like sex, that's not about it, right? Sex is easy. No, I'm talking about like, can you deal with me? And I have a daughter now. So can you deal with a single parent? I like gardening. I love flower shows. I love anime. I love documentaries. I love articles, science articles. I read them all day. Oh my God. I read them science articles. I'm all up in that. I love seminars. So during our dating years, I would go to seminars. People of science go and have a talk. I would look up who's making a seminar this month, and I will plan my month around going to a seminar. And I would sit there and listen, talk about science stuff. I'm a curious oddball. I love to dance, and I talk a lot. And I talk deep stuff. I'm not like, what's the weather like? Oh my God! I talk deep. What's the meaning of life? What do you want to be where you want to be in 5 years? Tell me about your trauma. How was it growing up? Like, I talk a lot and ask a lot of questions. Can you deal with that? Yeah. My husband says, Christopher says, like, see, the reason why with Chris it works is because Christopher is not bothered by anything. Like, and I've actually asked him that question, like, nothing bothers you. And that's why it works, because he's unbothered by nothing. And I don't know if it's because it's like nothing I do, but I've noticed he's like, okay, he's so chill. All right, sure. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, like, I'm bothered by nothing. Like, if I talk about the science stuff, he's like, oh, really? Oh, that's so cool. Like, he is, I'm bothered. What's the meaning of life? I don't know. The meaning of life, like, it's he's not ditzy. Now, he is one of the smartest person I've known. Christopher's very smart. Because he's a different person when he's not with me. He's, Yeah, Christopher is don't play with Chris. But with me, he's such a goofball. I love that. Um, yeah, that's why it works because he's not bothered by nothing, and he's dealt with me and my father's situation, so he's not bothered by nothing. It may sound crazy to you to hear this, and I've told Chris that already. I have a contingency plan if it doesn't work out with me and Chris. You have the prenup, but there's like I have an idea. Okay, if we sell the house, okay, we sell the house. I'll work on this. And I wake up in the morning, I focus on my workout. Like I have a plan played out. Yeah, and I will move on because this too will pass. Please. I love him to death. I love him to death. But I can't afford to be dragged down. I got a kid now. So I love him to death up to the point where it could affect my daughter. And then I'm looking at you with question marks. What do you mean? What are you asking me to do? No. No. I say no a lot, even to him. However, I try not to because Christopher like hardly says no to me. If he could, I told you I'd be hanging from the basement, begging for my life. Christopher is like he hoards me, which I love. I love. I love. I love. I love because he's nice. He's nice. It works because I don't mind it because I love him to death. What am I sitting here rambling about, my man? Sorry about that. Look, it's almost an hour. I told you, right? It's an hour recording. Listen, 57 minutes and 40 seconds. I gotta go. 3 minutes to spare when I gotta go. Thank you. I'll see you next time. All this unpredictable stuff. It's hard to post. It's very hard to post, guys. I'll be honest with you. It's very difficult. It's hard to post. It's hard to post. It's hard to post. It's hard to post. Now, goodbye. I have to go. Love you. Bye.